Walk through any Japanese neighborhood and you'll see something quietly astonishing. 80-year-olds climbing long flights of stairs without handrails. 90-year-olds walking to the morning market with upright posture and calm rhythm. Centenarians who have never touched a walker in their lives. Meanwhile, across the Pacific, 43% of Americans over 75 depend on canes, walkers, or scooters just to move around their own homes. That contrast is not small. It's a cultural earthquake. Japan counts more than 95,000 centenarians living fully independent lives. In the United States, mobility and independence begin to fade around 68, followed by a slow decline into stiffness, assistance, and fear of falling. The Japanese aren't just living longer, they're staying mobile longer. And no, it's not genetics. When Japanese families move abroad and adopt Western routines, that mobility advantage disappears within a single generation. It isn't simply diet either, though food matters. It's something more fundamental, something built into how the body and mind move through daily life. I spent 3 months traveling from Okinawa's coastal villages to Tokyo's dense neighborhoods, studying how elders actually move. Not in clinics, but in the quiet moments of their day. What I discovered will permanently change how you think about aging. The secret isn't physical therapy gadgets or complex exercise programs. It is 5 simple daily habits so deeply woven into Japanese culture that most people don't even recognize them as training. No equipment, no gym membership, no special flexibility. Just natural movement patterns repeated every single day. Movements you can begin integrating right now, regardless of age or stiffness level. Because the goal isn't just avoiding the walker, it's moving through life with confidence, strength, and independence that feels effortless. Before we dive into the first habit, I want you to pause and ask yourself something. What is your biggest fear about losing mobility as you age? Is it falling in public, needing help with simple tasks, or losing the freedom to move where you want, when you want? Drop a comment below and tell me. I read everyone, and I personally reply with advice you can act on today. And if you want to uncover all 5 habits that keep Japanese elders walker-free, hit that subscribe button right now, because what's coming next could change the way you start every morning. Let us begin with the foundation, the morning ritual that has kept Japanese joints young for nearly a century. Since 1928, millions of people in Japan have begun every day the exact same way, with a 15-minute sequence of gentle movements broadcast over national radio. It's called Radio Taiso, literally radio calisthenics. Employers allow time for it. Schools begin the day with it. Entire neighborhoods gather in parks at 6:30 a.m. to move together to the sound of a bright piano tune. What began as a public health campaign has become one of the longest-running fitness experiments in human history. Before you dismiss it as just a charming cultural quirk, let's look at the physiology behind those 15 minutes. After 6 to 8 hours of sleep, your joints are coated with thickened synovial fluid, the lubricant that allows cartilage to glide smoothly. Your muscles are cool and shortened. Your nervous system is still half asleep. Most people in the West roll out of bed, shuffle to the coffee maker, and sit down again. That morning, stiffness never fully dissolves. It compounds day after day until you can't touch your toes, can't rotate to check a blind spot, can't kneel on the floor to play with your grandkids. Radio Taiso reverses that process in minutes. It systematically wakes every major joint through controlled motion. Not stretching, not exercise, just movement. The routine begins with large arm circles and shoulder rotations, sending fresh synovial fluid into the joints. Then gentle spinal twists awaken the back. Next come leg swings and knee rotations that prime the hips and knees for the day ahead, followed by ankle circles and toe raises that switch on the small stabilizer muscles in your feet. By the end, circulation increases, the nervous system is alert, and the whole body feels lighter. Researchers at Tokyo Metropolitan University found that adults who practiced morning mobility had 37% less joint stiffness throughout the day than those who didn't. Their range of motion stayed nearly unchanged even into their 80s and 90s. These movements follow the body's natural kinetic chains, starting from the center and moving outward or vice versa. creating a cascade of neural activation that tells your entire system, wake up, it's time to move. You don't have to gather in a park or follow the Japanese broadcast. Here's a simplified 5-minute version you can do right now in your living room. 10 slow arm circles forward, 10 backward. Gentle neck rotations, 5 each direction. 10 torso twists with stable hips. 10 leg swings per side while holding a chair for balance. 20 ankle circles and 10 calf raises. That's it. 5 minutes. No sweat, no strain, just motion that floods your joints with fresh fluid and signals your nervous system that the day has begun. Do it every morning for 2 weeks and watch how easily you start moving through your day. The Japanese have proven through nearly a century of practice that how you start your morning determines how your joints age. But this morning movement is only the beginning. It lays the foundation for a body that stays resilient, flexible, and stable. Because what comes next, the daily habits hidden in every Japanese household, will build the strength and coordination that keep elders walking unaided well into their 90s. Before you think Radio Taiso is just a quaint cultural tradition, let us look at what actually happens inside your body during those first few minutes after waking up. For 6 to 8 hours, your joints haven't moved. The synovial fluid that lubricates your cartilage has thickened, your muscles are cold and contracted, and your nervous system is still half asleep. Most Westerners roll straight out of bed, shuffle to the coffee maker, and then sit down again. That morning stiffness you feel, it doesn't vanish. It compounds day after day until simple motions like checking your blind spot or tying your shoes start to feel impossible. Radio Taiso fixes that problem with elegance and precision. It wakes every major joint through gentle rhythmic motion, not heavy exercise, not static stretching, just mindful movement. You begin with large arm circles and shoulder rotations that push new, warm synovial fluid into your joints. Then gentle spinal twists wake the vertebrae one by one. Next come slow leg swings and controlled knee rotations to prime the hips and knees for the load of the day. Finally, ankle circles and toe raises bring life to the smallest stabilizers in your feet, the foundation for balance and safe walking. Tokyo Metropolitan University researchers tracked seniors who practiced daily joint mobility drills and found they experienced 37% less stiffness throughout the day than those who didn't. Their range of motion stayed intact into their 80s and 90s. Nothing about this routine is random. Each motion follows your body's natural kinetic chain, from the core outward or the extremities back towards center, creating a wave of neural activation that tells your brain, wake up, it's time to move. And the beauty is, you don't have to join a public park group or follow a Japanese broadcast at dawn. You can do a 5-minute version right now, right where you are. 10 slow arm circles forward, then 10 backward. Gentle neck rolls, 5 in each direction. 10 torso twists while keeping your hips stable. 10 leg swings per side while holding onto a chair for balance. Finish with 20 ankle circles and 10 calf raises, that's it. 5 minutes of circulation, coordination, and calm focus before the day begins. No sweat, no strain, just movement that tells every cell in your body that it's alive and ready. Try it for 2 weeks and you'll notice how much easier it is to stand, turn, and climb stairs. Because the Japanese have proved for nearly a century that the way you start your morning determines how your joints age. But morning motion is only the first piece of the longevity puzzle. The second habit hides in plain sight, something Japanese elders do dozens of times a day without calling it exercise. It's the act of sitting down and standing up from the floor. The average Japanese elder transitions from floor to standing 20 to 30 times daily. The average American elder? Less than once a month. That single difference might explain why 78% of Japanese adults over 80 can still climb stairs unassisted, while only 41% of Americans can. Floor-based living isn't just a cultural quirk. It is a built-in strength training program that engages every major muscle group automatically. Think about traditional Japanese homes. Low tables for meals, futons rolled out at night, tatami mats instead of couches. Every one of those features forces the body to perform a floor-to-stand transition. Each repetition strengthens the quads, glutes, core, and hip stabilizers that keep you upright and balanced. In contrast, Western life removes these challenges entirely. We sleep in high beds, eat at high tables, and use elevated chairs and toilets. We've engineered away the simple motions that once kept us strong. The result is predictable. Legs weaken, balance declines, and recovery from a fall becomes nearly impossible. Yet the genius of floor-based living isn't just strength, it's functional strength, the exact kind you need to prevent falls. Studies show that people who can rise from the floor without using their hands have an 83% lower mortality risk over the next 6 years. That's not vanity muscle, that's survival muscle. If you haven't sat on the floor in years, don't worry. You're not about to throw away your furniture, start gently. Sit on the floor for 10 minutes while watching TV tonight. Use cushions for comfort or lean against the couch. Feel what that level does to your hips and back. Then, practice the floor-to-stand transition with support. From kneeling, place one foot forward like a lunge and press through that front leg to stand. Use your hands lightly for balance, not to pull yourself up. 3 to 5 repetitions per side is enough to reawaken those deep stabilizers that have been dormant for decades. Over time, reduce your hand support from 2 hands to 1, from 1 to fingertips only, until you can stand freely. When that happens, you'll feel something powerful. Your legs carrying your full weight again, just like they were designed to. That's the essence of Japanese functional strength, not lifting more, not pushing harder, but staying capable of moving through everyday life without fear or strain. Morning movement keeps the joints supple, floor transitions keep the muscles honest. Together they form the foundation of lifelong independence.
Walking patterns come next. And this is where everything you think you know about movement changes. Japanese elders don't just walk more, they walk differently. Biomechanical studies show that their traditional gait produces 32% less impact on the knees while activating 47% more stabilizer muscles. The difference is all in how the foot meets the ground. Watch an elderly Japanese person. Short, soft, quiet steps. The whole foot landing together. Posture upright. Now watch a typical Western stride. Long steps, hard heel strikes, shoulders pitched forward. One preserves joints. The other slowly destroys them. When your heel slams down first, the shock travels up through the ankle, knee, and hip like a hammer blow. Force plate studies reveal that every heel strike generates impact 2 to 3 times your body weight. Do the math. 160 pounds, 8,000 steps a day. Millions of pounds of pressure per week, year after year. No wonder knee replacements have skyrocketed. Traditional Japanese walking evolved around geta, the wooden sandals with raised soles that make heel striking impossible. The entire foot lands more evenly, distributing pressure across the whole structure. The stride is shorter by about 15%. Not shuffling, but smooth, deliberate control. Think of it like stepping on stones across a stream. Smaller, steadier moves keep you safe. Posture completes the picture. Japanese walkers keep the spine vertical, core gently engaged, head lifted. Western walkers lean forward and let momentum pull them. That posture disengages the core and overloads the lower back. Modern running shoes make things worse. Thick heels encourage pounding. Rigid soles block natural flex. Over-support weakens intrinsic arch muscles. We've caged our feet and wondered why they stopped working. The fix begins with awareness. Next time you walk, notice where your foot lands. If you're striking hard on the heel, shift toward a soft mid-foot landing. Shorten your stride slightly. Let each step fall closer to your body. Imagine being drawn upward by an invisible string from the crown of your head. Relax your shoulders. Engage your abdomen. Breathe evenly. Within 2 or 3 weeks, this new pattern will feel natural, and your knees and hips will thank you. But even perfect walking mechanics won't save you if your hips are locked. Most Western adults spend 12 to 16 hours a day with their hips frozen at 90 degrees, sitting in chairs, driving, eating, watching TV. The hip joint is a ball and socket wrapped in connective tissue that must move freely to stay healthy. When it doesn't, the unused ranges tighten and eventually fuse. Doctors call it adaptive shortening. Your body literally reshapes itself around your habits. By midlife, many people have already lost half their natural hip motion without realizing it. In Japan, daily life prevents that loss. Seiza, sitting on the heels, stretches the knees and ankles. Agura, or cross-legged sitting, opens the hips in external rotation. Squatting to garden or fold bedding takes the joints through full flexion. These are not workouts. They are just ways of existing that keep the capsule supple and circulation flowing. Research from the Japanese Orthopedic Association found that seniors who maintained deep-range hip mobility had an 89% lower rate of walker dependency than those with restricted hips. That's the hinge between independence and assisted living. If your hips are already tight, start easy. Face a sturdy table, hold it with both hands, and lower yourself into a gentle, supported squat. Go only as deep as comfortable. Hold 30 to 60 seconds, then rise slowly. Sit cross-legged on a cushion for 5 to 10 minutes daily to let gravity open the joints. Or try the couch stretch. One knee on the couch seat, the other foot forward in a lunge, easing the hips forward until you feel a stretch. Hold 60 to 90 seconds per side. Never force it. 3 minutes of gentle hip work each day builds more lasting change than an hour of aggressive stretching once a week. Even mobile hips can't protect you without balance. And balance in Japan isn't a workout. It's baked into life. Every Genkan entryway requires stepping up or down while balancing on one leg to remove shoes. Neighborhood streets are narrow, full of micro-adjustments. Shrine and temple grounds vary from gravel to stone to polished wood. Each surface forces the body to recalibrate. Western environments are flat, predictable, and safe. So safe that our balance systems atrophy from boredom. Your brain keeps balance through novelty and challenge. The vestibular system in your ears, the visual focus in your eyes, and the proprioceptors in your joints must keep being surprised to stay sharp. Kyoto University studies show that seniors who regularly walk on varied surfaces recover from stumbles 43% faster than those who only use treadmills or smooth sidewalks. Their nervous systems have learned to adapt instantly. You don't need a temple path to build this skill. Do small things. Stand on one leg while brushing your teeth. Alternate legs while washing dishes. Balance with eyes closed while waiting for coffee. Lay a thick bath mat in your hallway and walk over it a few times daily. The instability trains your ankles. On walks, leave the pavement. Seek grass, gravel, gentle trails. Every uneven step teaches your body resilience. Start stable, then progress to more challenging surfaces. Always have support nearby, but push yourself to rely on it less and less. All 5 habits: morning mobility, floor transitions, mindful walking, hip variety, and natural balance form a single loop of longevity. Each feeds the next. Morning motion readies the joints for floor work. Floor strength improves walking mechanics. Efficient walking protects hips. Open hips enhance balance. Balance builds confidence to keep moving. That feedback loop is why Japanese elders in their 90s still stroll to the market, while others their age rely on walkers. The difference isn't luck or superior genes, it's repetition. Small, gentle choices, repeated thousands of times across decades, become a fortress of mobility. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. Pick one habit, anyone, and practice it daily for 2 weeks. Then notice the change. Lighter steps, steadier balance, quieter joints. Your body remembers what freedom feels like. And every movement you reclaim brings you one step closer to aging with strength, grace, and complete independence.